It's just 6 days to go before the first ball is kicked in the 2023 African Cup of Nations, which has now been rechristened the 2024 edition because of previous organizational challenges. The championship will take place in 4 venues across the West African nation of Ivory Coast, including the commercial nerve center, Abidjan, and the country's political capital, Yamoussoukro, which is home to the world's biggest cathedral. Incidentally, Nigeria's Super Eagles are grouped together with the host country, Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, and Equatorial Guinea. Feelers out of Abidjan are that morale is considerably high among all the participating teams. Well, Arise sports correspondent Akerejola Aron has just joined me to do a quick preview of the month-long 24-nation championship. Good to have you on the program, Aron the Baron.
It's good to be here today.
Well, quickly. There have been all kinds of projections about AFCON. Nigeria has won 3 times, hoping to win the 4th time.
Yes.
Although Egypt, I think, has the record. They've won 7 times, followed by, was it Senegal?
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
And then Morocco has won only once. But how prepared is Nigeria? Jose Pesero is saying, oh, Nigeria is eyeing that trophy. Can we do it? Is it possible? I know we have Victor Osimhen, we have Victor Boniface, but we don't have goalkeepers. We have Francis Uzor. How prepared are we?
Let's put it this way. First of all, this is where the rubber meets the road. Ever since Jose Pesero actually took over, he made his intentions clear from the get-go that his intention is to win the Nations Cup. And through all the hurdles, all the very, very disappointing games, he kept on insisting that the Nations Cup is the ultimate goal. Now, this is where he would actually have to prove his mettle. And like I always say, coaches live and die by their decisions. He's made a very risky decision to go with Francis Uzor against the protestation from fans, against the protestation from stakeholders. He's decided to stick with a goalkeeper that we know that is not good enough. At this moment in time, low on confidence, and the man doesn't look like he wants to be between the sticks. And that is a big gamble. It can either go one way or it can go pear-shaped. We are hoping it goes very well for him. Because if it does that, Uzor's career will actually take off. He's at Ominia right now, farming somewhere. If he actually does well at the Nations Cup, he knows that he will get an opportunity back into mainland Europe to play football. But at the moment, they're still in Abu Dhabi, they're still in at Dubai as we speak, actually getting themselves acclimatized with hot weather and preparing themselves for the Nations Cup. From what I've seen, from what I'm hearing, everything is high. We are hoping that the Nigeria Football Federation will do their own part by ensuring that backlog of salaries are paid both for the coaches, the backroom staff, and the players. And also for the players themselves, they get their morale high enough to be able to go into that competition and ensure they stake a claim and also make a mark.
Okay. Well, the coach of Morocco, Walid Regragui, has been quoted as saying 10 nations stand a chance. Well, at the back of his mind, he will have Morocco because Morocco is regarded as the favorite.
Yeah, one of them.
Because most of their players are playing for European sides. Yeah. The last time Morocco won the AFCON was 1976.
Yes.
So they've been waiting for 40 years. So they have a near complete team. Earlier on, I said Senegal had won 5 times. No, that's Cameroon. Cameroon has won 5 times. Senegal has won once, and they are defending champions. So what do you think of the chances of Morocco, Senegal defending champions? Ghana has also won the title 4 times. Then, of course, Nigeria 3 times. We've dealt with Nigeria. Let's look at some of those other countries. And then, of course, the host country, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast themselves. Okay, so let's put it this way now. Based on the records, since Egypt won, would I say, a hat-trick of Nations Cup, culminating up to 2010, Egypt have been out in the cold. And they actually kick-started a trend. Egypt didn't even attend the next 2 Nations Cup. And ever since then, everyone that has won it, Chipolopolo of Zambia followed suit. They didn't even qualify for the next Nations Cup, and on and on and on. every time you win the Nations Cup, something always happens that ensures that you do not win the Nations Cup. So we haven't had, since 2010 till date, we haven't had any country win it back-to-back. So let's see if Senegal, the Teranga Lions, try to do that. They had hunted for a Nations Cup for years, and they finally broke the hurdle when they went to Cameroon. And now, Cameroon themselves, they are also one of those teams that will be favorites to actually do this. But talking about Morocco will want to prove that all the investments that they've actually made and what happened at the World Cup in Qatar was not a fluke, because they need to show that they are really a powerhouse, having probably put in the best infrastructure when it comes to sports in Africa. Now, moving to Ivory Coast, the host. Ivory Coast themselves have been nearly men over the years. Of course, they actually got a Nations Cup ultimately sometime in the 2010s, and I'm happy for Ivory Coast. But at the moment in time, I've looked at the Ivorian national team. They are not as, the golden generation has come and gone. They are far gone, because you look at that star-studded golden generation. They had Didier Drogba, Kolo Touré, Yaya Touré, Solomon Kalou. We could go on and on and on. Only won one Nations Cup. Right now, 98% of those players have actually gone. Probably maybe Seridai and Serge Ore that are still part of that squad. And can they move mountains? Age is not on the side. So at the moment, if you'd ask me, I'm hoping that Nigeria goes there, show that they can actually dominate Group A, first of all, when we play next week Sunday. And for Ivory Coast, they know that they have a Herculean task to actually climb, or a very, very huge mountain, understanding that you look at it. Now, you've mentioned some teams. Senegal are a very massive nation. You've not even spoke. Egypt are another massive nation. Then we'll now start talking about Cameroon, Nigeria. We'll now start talking about Algeria. We're talking about Tunisia. So we have so many. Ghana have been very unlucky. They have a group of young stars that are doing well. Mohamed Kudus, of course, we still have the Ayew brothers. They'll be hoping that they can carry the nation this time around, and the Black Stars will be able to go as far as they want to. But at the moment, my prediction still remains that the top 6 in Africa, in terms of the CAF ranking as we speak, which includes even Nigeria, will be the ones that will dominate at this AFCON. We're not going to see any surprises. But Egypt, for Mohamed Salah, knows that this is his final hurrah. This is his final song. He knows that he's never won the Nations Cup. He's been a nearly man for Egypt. Egypt has dominated Africa, but Mohamed Salah has now been the man that has probably brought a little bit of bad luck, or probably has not gotten any kind of luck when it comes to the Nations Cup. He knows that if he doesn't win this one, this might just be the final one.
Well, Egypt, they have their Mohamed Salah.
Yes.
Nigeria, we have Victor Osimhen,
who is the best player on the continent.
Well, but you know, those teams that Nigeria is going to face in Group A, I don't think they are pushovers. Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast. I hope we get beyond the group stage.
No, they say they're not pushovers. But if they win us, it will be a massive upset. It will be regarded as a massive upset. So if you'd ask me, I'll say they are pushovers. We should be winning those games. Okay. We should be dominating. The only team that should give us a problem in that particular Group A is Ivory Coast. And I am thinking that we should be able to beat them, or at least a draw.
Fingers crossed. But you are very enthusiastic about Morocco. Could it be because they are in Group F? The other teams in that group, they've never won a game at AFCON. So it's not a problem, you know, playing against Zambia, Tanzania, DR Congo. They've never won a game in the history of AFCON.
The reason why everyone is excited about Morocco, because Morocco didn't just get to the World Cup semifinals like they did. They had worked hard for it. Massive investment, massive structures. Over the years, 10, 15 years down the line, they have been investing in sports time and time again. I've been to Morocco several times, and Doctor, you need to see the facilities in Morocco. And when you now find out that Morocco got to the semifinals of the World Cup, come on, Doctor, I must say that quickly, the expectations are very, very well placed.
Quickly, do we have any information about security preparations? How prepared is Ivory Coast? 2 years ago, when we had AFCON in Cameroon, there was an incident at the stadium. People died. True. Are we sure that the Ivorians are prepared to ensure adequate security and prevent stampede, the type that occurred 2 years ago?
I'm very happy that they're not using too many stadiums. That would mean that And CAF has also said something about that particular incident, that they've actually learned a massive lesson, because we've not seen that happen in a very long time on the continent when it comes to AFCON games. So it's a huge learning curve for CAF, and they are hoping, and they have actually primed themselves so that issues like that, incidences like that, do not occur again. Even in that particular tournament that we spoke about in Cameroon, I was there. The way they now went about security and the gates opening and closing, which gates should be open, which gates should be closed, which gates should allow people come in, which gates should allow people go out, changed. They had to change their entire security protocol because of that particular incident.
Okay, finally, let's talk about money before we move on. We've been told by the Minister of Sports, John Aron, that President Tinubu has approved, is it about 12 billion to pay all arrears, to pay the coaches, to pay everybody in the sports sector. And also, in this AFCON this year, there's been a 40% increase in money that will go to the winners, the semi-finalists, the quarter-finalists.
It will trickle down to
all the way down.
Yes, it trickle down.
Would that be enough motivation for the Super Eagles to at least know that since money is coming, maybe their legs should be swifter on the field of play?
Doctor, monies have never been motivations in sports, because there's something called pride, there's something called glory, which is bigger than money. Some of these players, more than half of the team are actually millionaires by maybe even European standards because of where they actually play, more than half of the team. So money might not be motivation for them. That's all pocket change for some of them, not all of them, but some of them. But at the same time, it becomes a sticking point if it is not paid. Because the question is, if this money doesn't mean so much to you, when it's not paid, why do you now make everything about the money not being paid? So we are hoping that they settle that money, so that should be a foregone issue, so that they can actually focus on getting Nigeria to where they should be. Nigeria has been out in the cold, not attended several Nations Cup, and this is the opportunity for them. Now that the president has given the go-ahead to make things happen, we want to see them put passion into their game. That is something that has been missing over the years.
Well, thank you very much, Aron Akerejola, Arise sports correspondent. I'm sure the next time I'll be having a conversation.
Yes, next Sunday.
You'll probably be speaking
from the other side.